Hello, people. Welcome one and all to the online lectures in Genius Academy. I, Vijay Gehlot, am welcoming all of you to this lecture of chemistry over here. Now, times are changing. The need of hour says that we need to have online lectures due to the pandemic which is spread across the world. So that doesn't mean that we should stop studying. So here we are with the use of technology and helping us learn and grow. Now, we are going to start with a very easy and a very important and a very scoring chapter in 12th standard. The first chapter, solid state. Now, when I say solid state, automatically it clicks your mind that there are two more states, liquid state and gaseous state. So, this liquid state and gaseous state we've already covered up in 11th standard in depth. Now, we are going ahead to take a look of what the solid state comprises of. What are we going to learn in this chapter? So, this chapter carries a weightage of total 4 marks, 4 to 5 marks in board examination. Okay, it has numericals, it has theory. So, let us see what we can learn the best in this. It's a very interesting. So when I talk about solid state, what clicks the mind is like, see, so many things. Like you talk about the Rocky Mountains, you talk about the hills, the glaciers, the sandy beaches. So many things. Now you must be thinking beach देख करके अरे ये तो पानी है liquid है. No, that's not the scene. Look at the sand. Look at the frozen ice in the glaciers. Look at the mountains. Look at the hills. They're all made up of matter. They're all made up of substances, all made up of particles. Now, all these particles are solid particles. Now, what solid particles we're talking about? What are solid particles classified into? What is amorphous? What is crystalline? And so many different things. So, we are going to look into so many different things about solids in this chapter. So, like I said, glaciers, the beaches, the hills. Now, when I talk about river, lake, sea, and ocean, this is liquid. We know that our atmosphere is made up of gases. Solids are more common than liquids or gases. Right? Because when you look at this periodic table, right? अगर आप पूरा D group देखो, the entire D group or most of it is all solid metals, right? On if you S block में भी देखोगे तो metals है, ठीक है? P block में there are non metals, right? So if I talk about the D block का 10 groups and if I talk about 2 groups, 12 groups तो solids का ही है, and the remaining 6 groups of the P block are gases. Only 11 gaseous elements. बाकी rest some are liquid which are exception like mercury and all जैसे highlight किया था, but rest everything. So it becomes very important for us learn about their structures and their properties. Now, what does the property depend on? It will depend on the constituent particles and the binding forces. What are binding forces? They are acting between the constituent particles, the atomic forces, the molecular forces, and so on. Okay, that is what we're talking about, the binding forces. So, one, the constituent particles, two, the binding forces. What exactly are these binding forces? We've learned about these binding forces in 11th standard. So this we had learned in 11th standard. And what was this? The most important property of gases and liquids is fluidity. Fluidity means to flow. They can flow, both air as well as liquids. But when I look into solids, can solids flow? No, they can't. Called as fluids because they can flow. But solids, they do not possess fluidity. They instead possess rigidity. What is rigidity? Why do liquids and gases possess fluidity? क्यों? The answer is in front of you. If you look at these three diagrams, and you see that the gaseous particles, the liquid particles, and the solid particles, the packing arrangement in them, right? Why do solids possess rigidity? This is because of the movement of the constituent particles. Now, what constituent particles? The particles which are making up that substance, right? Now, it is movement. The particles can move freely in the gaseous state. They can again move freely as compared that in the solid state. Liquid state may they can again move freely, but the free movement is not available in the solid state, and that is why fluidity is not available over here, right? They are tightly packed, they have a fixed position, they can only oscillate about their mean positions. These are the main important properties: definite shapes, volumes, and which comprises of the rigidity. What is matter? Always will classify matter into three categories: solid, liquid, and gases. So liquids and gases we have studied. Now it's the body of solids. Solid or liquids, what are these opposing factors? Interparticle attractive forces and the thermal energy. This interparticle attractive forces in solids is way too high. जबरदस्त है ये interparticle attractive forces in solids, right? And thermal energy भी इसके अंदर काफी है. The energy stored inside the atoms. Now look at what are interparticle attractive forces. The forces which are active, they are interacting between the atoms, right? These interparticle attractive forces bring the particles close to each other. So what is thermal energy? It is the energy possessed by the constituent particles due to temperature. Thermal energy maximum किस में रहेगा? Like you can see in this. Increases. As temperature increases, thermal energy is also going to increase, and hence the movement of the particles will become more vibrant. So thermal energy किसमें रहेगा? Solids में. Interparticle attractive force is less, thermal energy ज्यादा. मतलब inverse proportion है यहाँ पे. Inversely proportional. And so if interparticle attractive forces increases, the thermal energy reduces. तो भाई गैस से क्या हो गया? लिक्विड हो गया. And if interparticle forces increase more, thermal energy will reduce much further. Right? Yes. So as and when the particles move close to each other, the interparticle attractive forces increases. But they cannot move freely, they can only oscillate about their mean position. And that is what is solid state. Now let us see what is the classification of solids. Look at this, two famous things, diamond and glass. Both are solids. But if you look at their structures, we have a huge difference. We have a huge difference in their structures. If you see diamond का structure अगर आप देखो आपके सामने, it is a very properly arranged manner, in a properly arranged manner, definite manner, repeating cells of units. Whereas a glass, random arrangement of atoms and molecules, जो आपको दिख रहा है आपके सामने. Diamond will be classified as a crystalline solid and glass will be classified as a amorphous solid. Orderly fashion in glass, they are disorganized. So the solids will mainly be classified into two types, crystalline solids and amorphous solids. Now let us see what are crystalline solids. In a crystalline solid, the constituent particles like the atoms, ions or molecules, they are regularly arranged in a definite pattern. Long range बोले तो for a continuous period of time, काफी लंबे तक they are arranged properly. लंबे तक in the sense, long range doesn't mean actual length wise. It means that all the particles are arranged from one end to the other in a orderly manner, and it is regular. It's like a mirror image. ऐसा ही दूसरे साइड पे अरेंजमेंट आ जाता है ऑटोमेटिकली. Periodically.